Hi everyone. This is a bit of an impromptu Genetics in the News for Useful Genetics Module 5 because the personal genomics company 23andMe has been splashed all over the newspapers in the past few days. That's because the American Food and Drug Administration has just slapped them with a very severe warning letter telling them that they either have to stop claiming that their product is a medical device, provides medical information, or they have to back up their claims with evidence of its reliability. Now, just a little bit of history of 23andMe. They started about 6 years ago, offering a kit that would analyze genotypes at 580,000 SNP positions for a cost of $1,000. This seemed like a tremendous bargain at the time, but since then it's gotten better and a lot cheaper. The number of SNPs included in the chip has gone up to 1 million, and the cost of the analysis and access to their online resources has gone down to $99. With this product, they've sold a lot of kits, especially lately with the price drop. They've now sold over 400,000 kits. They knew when they started that they were venturing into unknown regulatory territory. Nobody had ever done anything like this before. And we discussed briefly in Module 5 how they faced legal challenges, and they've actually been banned in New York and Maryland states because it's felt that such things should only be provided through qualified physicians and genetics counselors. They also faced a case in California, but they won that one. But now the Food and Drug Administration has stepped in. So in their warning letter, the FDA points out that the 23andMe service that they sell qualifies as a medical device and should be regulated by the Food and Drug Administration. That's what they claim, is that the combination of the testing kit and the information that 23andMe provide makes it a medical device because 23andMe makes medical claims in their advertising, especially in the recent advertising blitz. They talk about the potential health benefits that can come from knowing about your genes. It would be okay with the FDA if they were only to claim analysis of ancestry, but because they make medical benefits, the FDA feels that this is something they should be regulating. The FDA points out that 23andMe analysis carries risks. There's risks of people receiving false information and of people making decisions to manage their own health inappropriately. And these risks, as we briefly mentioned when discussing ethics, these risks fall into several categories. There's what we call false positive errors, where the kit says, oh, we have a positive result, something's wrong. But that result is wrong, or the information that 23andMe is providing is wrong. This can cause quite a bit of harm, a lot of unnecessary worry, a waste of medical resources, or for people who don't have the money to invest in following up alarming report from 23andMe, they could take erroneous and dangerous action instead. There's also the risk of false negative errors, falsely being reassured that you don't have anything to worry about when really you do. This could cause people to ignore symptoms and to fail to seek medical advice when, if they hadn't done the 23andMe testing, they might have gone to their physician. Finally, there are user errors, the kind of mistakes where what 23andMe is providing is accurate, but the recipient of the information misinterprets it. And this has all of the same harms could happen as false positive and false negatives. This last category is the reason that 23andMe has been banned in some American states, but it's not what the FDA is concerned about. In its letter, the FDA explains that what they're concerned about is to ensure that the tests work. They want 23andMe to provide them with data to demonstrate that the tests do not have unacceptably high levels of false positive and false negative results, and that the information that 23andMe provides to its clients is correct. they've been working together for more than 4 years now. And a year and a half ago, 23andMe put the official forms in requesting a ruling, but the FDA wants the data, and 23andMe has failed to produce the data. So, is 23andMe being unreasonable? Most people are, most knowledgeable people observing the field are puzzled by 23andMe's behavior. Why haven't they provided the data? It seems fairly straightforward what they're being asked to do. They would want to go back and retest a number of people. They'd want to test them at multiple important loci, the kind of loci that would cause people to do something drastic, risks of breast cancer, risk of Alzheimer's. They'd probably want them to repeat the test, maybe using a new DNA sample, maybe using sample extracted from blood instead of spit to show that the spit test was not introducing errors, maybe using a different methodology, maybe a chip made by another manufacturer, or even using more old-fashioned technology to test particular loci to validate their results. And this is something that 23andMe presumably could do themselves, or they could hire another SNP analysis provider if they wanted a sort of hands-off verification. But apparently they have not done these things, or at least they have not completed them and provided them to the FDA. What about the FDA? Is the FDA being unreasonable? Maybe that's why 23andMe isn't talking to them anymore. The technology 23andMe uses is already very well characterized, widely used in many laboratories. The error rates are very well understood. Their laboratory is certified. Why is it reasonable for the FDA to demand that they go beyond this? What kind of error rate would the FDA find acceptable? How perfect does it have to be? We don't know. We don't know the answers to any of these things. So right now, everybody is quite puzzled by this result and waiting to see what's going to happen now. It's quite unlikely that 23andMe would actually be shut down. They're big, they're doing a lot of business, there's a lot of popular demand for this. So I think we can be pretty confident that 23andMe is going to continue operating. Certainly they're still operating now. In any case, even if 23andMe were to be shut down, personal genomics is now a reality in the world, and it can't be put back in the bottle. So if 23andMe isn't able to provide this service anymore, it's going to be provided by others. If it can't be provided in the United States, it's going to be provided by other countries. I know that China has massive sequencing and DNA analysis capabilities now, and so does South Korea. So I think the personal genomics revolution is going to happen no matter what. Okay, I hope to see you in part 2 of Useful Genetics coming up after Christmas.